Sometimes having more xenomorphs isn't always better. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover More 20 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for the very final Alien movie we will be talking about. And so for the second prequel of the Alien franchise, and that is of course Alien Covenant. aka the sixth standalone Alien movie to be released, and technically the eighth Alien movie overall to be released or made. And this is once again not another sequel, but a prequel. The second prequel of the series. Now, that being said, let's get on with what the plot of this movie is about. Well, the plot for this movie, it's a movie set in 2104, bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy. Members Catherine Watterson and Billy Crudup of the colony ship Covenant discover what they think to be an uncharted paradise. While there, they meet David, played by Michael Fassbender, a synthetic survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition. The mysterious world soon turns dark and dangerous when a hostile alien life form forces the crew into a deadly fight for survival. Yeah, that's the plot of the movie. So guys, I had not seen this movie since I last saw it back in theaters when it came out in May 2017, so this was actually my second time watching this film. When I first saw it, I remember originally finding this my third favorite film of the series. So rewatching it now, well, I don't hate it, but I don't put it in third place anymore. Now I put it in fourth. But it doesn't mean I hate it, guys. I still think this movie is a bit better than most people make it out to be, but I do agree there is a number of problems to be had with it. Well, when the film released in theaters on May 2017, it got decently positive reviews from critics, but fans were not too warmed by it, and unlike its predecessor, the movie Prometheus, the movie bombed pretty bad at the box office and has since killed the Alien franchise ever since. Although there is possibility we may get a fifth movie that serves as a direct sequel to Aliens that ignores 3 and 4 completely, which would be pretty nice actually. I'd rather see a proper sequel to Aliens where Ripley, Hicks, Newt, Bishop all have to actually take on the threat again. Maybe like a proper third installment. One that doesn't kill, not like that bullshit Alien 3 that killed off Newt, Hicks for no reason. Like an actually third one that continues their storyline. With maybe a grown-up Newt or something. But anyways, I hope it happens anyways. So we are actually going to get to those problems that I have with this movie in a bit. But for now, let's look at the good qualities of this follow-up to Prometheus. The good qualities are, of course, Michael Fassbender's performance as David is the best selling point of this movie, and there are some decent filming locations. Even though the soundtrack is a retreat of the Jerry Goldsmith score from the first movie, the soundtrack is actually decent. And there are a few good callbacks to the first Alien movie. And similar to other films such as Gravity and this movie's predecessor Prometheus, the cinematography is almost as beautiful and dazzling, making you feel like you're on another planet instead of planet Earth, and manages to pull the viewer into the movie's world. It also manages to make the viewer feel as non-claustrophobic as possible. And the design of the xenomorphs are actually decent, even if the CGI effects look a bit ugly. To be fair, the CGI on them is not as bad as the horrendous CGI in 3 and 4, and especially their horrendous CGI in AVP and their horrendous lighting on them in Requiem. Just like Prometheus, the visual effects for USCSS Covenant are very nice. And some of the actors still give good performances, such as Catherine Watterson, and even surprisingly for a serious horror film, comedian Danny McBride even gives a good performance as Tennessee. I really like how McBride's character, unlike Keegan-Michael Key's cringy comic relief character in that 2018 Predator movie, they actually made Danny McBride in this movie very serious. In fact, This is probably my this is probably my second favorite live action role for him behind his fictional self, and This Is the End. In fact, a year after this movie, McBride went on to produce and help Pineapple Express director David Gordon Green save the Halloween franchise with the 2018 Halloween film and its two sequels, Kills and the upcoming Halloween Ends. Yeah. However, the reason it has fallen down to fourth place while Prometheus ranked up one ranking is because of these insufferable bad qualities with this film. And these bad qualities would have to be now, this film is so different from Prometheus in terms of story that it feels almost like an apology for that film. This causes the prequels to have a messy storyline that barely connects to one another. So, like, for example, when David is giving the backstory of what happened after the events of Prometheus, it feels like the filmmakers had ideas for Shaw and other events from that film, but had to come up with something new after some fans weren't satisfied. This movie has a similar plot to the original Alien, too. They made the xenomorphs mysterious yet dangerous interrapacidos aliens with multiple life cycles and originating from the planet Proteus and the creation of a malicious android. Even worse, it even gives the xenomorphs way too much backstory, which ruins to what made them mysterious in the galaxy. And much like its predecessor, most of the characters still keep making very idiotic mistakes throughout a storyline and making them impossible to root for. For example, they don't wear any protective gear when they land on a foreign planet, and one of the characters sticks his face in a facehugger egg, which is one of the stupidest things to do, especially knowing what a facehugger does to their victims. The movie made it so obvious that David is the evil android right from the first time we see him on screen. His plan is just straight up confusing. The movie even has some elements of false advertising. The trailers even made this movie look like some epic action horror movie, when most of the action and horror happens in the final act of the movie. The scenes with the xenomorphs that were in all the trailers only happen in the last third of the movie too, and it creates numerous plot holes in the Alien franchise. And the soundtrack, while it's still decently done and performed by Jed Kurzel, some of the soundtrack that were retrieved of the Jerry Goldsmith score from the first movie. Some very bad lighting in many scenes, although not as bad as the lighting in AVP Requiem, thank God. Some terrible CGI effects, which is kind of why most of the film was shot in dim light. And remember the Decon Proto-Xenomorph from the end of Prometheus? It doesn't even appear in this movie, and it's like forgotten completely. And the movie does even recycle way too many plot elements and tropes from both Alien and Aliens, and the movie's tonal shifts are very jarring. It starts out as a slow-paced science fiction adventure drama before becoming an action thriller, turning into a toned-down Friday the 13th slasher movie in the final act of its movie. It even has some generic and mediocre action sequences throughout the entire movie, and there's even some unnecessary paddling that makes the movie feel longer than it actually is. And like both Alien 3 and Resurrection, the movie can get a little bit boring at times. It's not even that scary, and the scare factor is even way far below that of the preceding films, especially like the first two in Prometheus. Sometimes the movie even breaks its own logic, like one of the worst examples is when the xenomorphs first appear. The movie makes it clear that they can be quite tough to kill even in their baby forms. But then there is a scene in which an adult xenomorph gets taken down with just a few bullets. And most of the characters, minus a few of them, are forgettable and boring. They are all romantic couples for some weird reason. That is never explained. So yeah, those are my bad qualities with this movie. But all in all, I think this is my fourth favorite of the series. It's definitely weaker compared to Prometheus. No, not Aliens, Alien, and Prometheus. But like Prometheus, it's still way better than 3, Resurrection, and the AVP movies. So I guess if you want to see the prequel storyline continue, then I do recommend streaming this film on any devices you have. But please do not expect against something like Alien, Aliens, or Prometheus. Just expect an okay at best continuation of the prequel storyline, and that's it. And honestly, after this movie flopped, I really hope now we can just get that direct sequel with Ripley, Newt, and Hicks returning. I would like to see that 5th Alien movie get made now, since the prequel storyline will likely not be continuing because this movie bombed at the box office. So hopefully Fox gets some second thoughts and actually decides to make that direct sequel we were supposed to get. That 5th movie that ignores 3 and 4 we were going to get, but Fox canceled it for the prequel films. Anyway, enough about that. Here's how I'm going to rank Alien Covenant.
I am going to give Alien Covenant a 7 out of 10.
And there we go. We are finally done talking about the Alien movies now. Finally finished that franchise. There was so many films to do. But now we have to move on to the Predator franchise. And that'll be easier to do because I only have to talk about 3 of these movies now. Because there's only 3 standalone Predator sequels, and thankfully not a whole bunch milked to death. Yeah. Well, until that Skulls prequel that I'm hearing so many negative reactions to comes out, which is probably going to suck. I can already tell that. But anyway, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.